Neal, first of all, congratulations on picking up the Vanarama Manager of the Week award. Um, it was for the 3 games over the course of the week, but you were pretty self-critical of yourself after the game on Tuesday. Now you had time to reflect on that a bit more. What were your final thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I still sort of look at myself and say, did I overdo it in the match prep on Monday on certain things? Because I thought we was for 30 minutes in the first half we were very structured without the ball, but we just didn't have enough flow with it. So, and obviously being the home team, you want to make sure that you've got that flow with it as well, and we didn't have it. And then we conceded a really poor goal, which is sort of more individual rather than the structure of the team. And then we lose our way for 10 minutes, and at half time, you've got a call. You either pick the lads up and stick with it, or you go, no, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to give the boys the whole half to turn this around. And sometimes that's a brave decision. Sometimes it backfires. You go on and lose 2 or 3, and sometimes you get back in it. But I thought, all credit to the players. I gave the tweak, and they went and performed and thoroughly deserved to get back in the game.
And a couple of days to recover and prepare. Have you got any injury update or availability update for tomorrow?
No, obviously we've got some cup-tied players that played in the competition. Aidan O'Brien's had a good week's training. We've purposely left him out of the squad, so he comes back into the thinking, albeit probably not as a starter, but certainly he could come back into the squad. So that's a positive. Wardy's ankle feels a bit better. He's been quite sore over a couple of weeks, but that feels better. So we're sort of hoping that keeps to progressing. And obviously, during the week we try to freshen Timmy and Tariq back after coming back from hamstring injuries. So that sort of worked out, and they're back in the reckoning for another sort of really busy week.
And you've got plenty of experience in semi-finals, some going your way, some not, and then eventually getting to Wembley. So how do you approach the game, and in particular, how do you approach the game against a derby against Aldershot Town?
Well, as a player, semi-finals wasn't very good for me. I made 5 semi-finals in the FA Cup and the League Cup and lost them all. As a manager, the semi-finals have been good to me. Semi-finals of the playoffs, and managed to get through them. In this competition, I've got a bit of a, I don't know, I don't know if God's shining down on me, but I made the semi-final with Notts County and COVID hit. Then made the semi-final with Notts County the following season and lost my job 3 games before the semi-final. So I'm hoping it's third time lucky in this competition. How do you approach it? From my point of view, I try and be calm. There's always a fine balance between revving the boys up for a game that they're already revved up for. They already know it's going to be a really sort of hostile, exciting atmosphere. And as a manager, is it your job to pour more flames on that and stoke that even more? Or is it your job to try and sort of focus on the performance, the discipline needed and such like things like that? So it's always a balance for the players. Obviously, everybody wants to play at Wembley, so I don't really need to motivate them, I think, or over-motivate them. I think I need to give them clarity on their roles, and we've tried to do that.
And some thoughts on the opposition, who, since the draw was made for the semi-final, have had a really good month, really good form since then.
Yeah, listen, Tommy, I know Tommy's had his own few health issues, and I wish him all the best in that. Tommy's a very good manager, was very good in his recruitment roles prior to that, knows players. And every year he's put together a good team. And, he did a great job at Kings Lynn. He's carried that on into Aldershot last season and this season. And, they're very, very strong going forward. Got a lot of creativity, a lot of, we know that, Barrett and Henry are really above the level with their ability, obviously coming towards the back end of their careers, but their ability is frightening. If they play, we've got to make sure that we respect their good players. But in the same vein, we've then got to look and go, how can we get at them? How can we play to our strengths? How can we cause them some problems? And that's always the balance of a game. And, both teams are desperate to get to Wembley. You've also got the sort of edge on the game being the 2 teams, and hopefully we can handle the whole situation.
And we've sold roughly 1,400 away tickets for tomorrow. So what would be your final message to the Woking fans that are going to the game?
Well, first of all, stay safe. I know these things, the emotions can get involved. Stay safe and make sure everybody does things right, because I think that's really, really important in our behaviour, representing themselves, the club, everyone. And secondly, just give us everything you've got. We'll try it. No one's going to win or lose this game for the want of trying. And there's going to be, at the end of it, unfortunately, one team's going to be down on their knees, and the other team's going to be celebrating. And all we can do is do our best to make sure our fans are on the right end of that. But like I say, we've got to try and manage the whole day the right way.
Brilliant. Thank you, Neil. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.